Yeah, Mark.
Yeah. You see the dancing Moor in the background there?
Yeah, yeah,
So there's
yeah,
there's the Sarati Moor, and then there's the dancing Moor. That's another like a statuette that it's a replica. The real one is super super expensive. They
yeah.
had it. See if I can.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I know. I seen that one before with the. Yeah, that
Yeah,
pose. That pose is familiar.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They had a series of them. They had a series of statuettes like that, and that one was the dancing Moor. There was another one which was an Arab. There was another one that was different nationalities and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, but when I saw that I had to get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's up. Yeah, that was a good one.
Mm.
That's a good one. So somebody asked about Drew Ali and his murder and all that. What you got to come to the realization too, like he said, is that it's always your own. So don't get caught up in the whole Chicago story and all that stuff, Chicago police, and they had him sleeping on ice and all this madness, and he died of pneumonia and whatever. That's not how it went down, right? They tried to trump up some charges on him to try to get him out the way. The charges couldn't stick because everybody knew he was the prophet, but they just released him into the hands of the people who set him up in the first place, which were Moors. So if you look up, you should be able to find this brother on Facebook or whatever, R. Richard R. Edwards Ill, that put out this booklet called the Mukarrabin Files. Now, as you see right here, there's copyright, right? No part of this book may be reproduced, transmitted in any form, by any means, electronic, mechanical, including for. Now, why are they gonna have a book about Noble Drew Ali and then copyright it so nobody can't get it like that? And then when you talk to them about, yeah, can I get the book or whatever like that, there's not in print anymore and all that type of stuff. How come? Right? So when you look at Noble Drew Ali and the work that he did, know that there were people on our side of the nation that thought this was a joke and unreal and wanted to keep all of this information away from the people. Now, when we say keep information away from the people, um, we could look at the unclassified, the unclassified stuff. 1931. This is all the FBI paper stuff, right? You got Moors taking Moors to court, right? Moor Science Temple taking Moor Science Temple to court. Why is Moor Science Temple taking Moor Science Temple to court? Like why? And all this is because of the fame and nobility that everybody was jealous about. Uh, um, all the different articles of incorporation from all the different Moor Science Temple, the ink ones and whatever, everybody trying to be the man instead of just giving Noble Drew Ali his props, right? Drew Ali said, don't mark your fez. There they go right there with their Allah and their fez and all this, pretending like they're about something with regard to Noble Drew Ali. And they don't really honor him like that. You could also do your research on Moorish Guide, which is the Moors newspaper. There's some articles on, you'll find some articles online. There's Noble Drew Ali's healing products before Dr. Sabi. Noble Drew Ali was pushing mineral oil, healing oil, bath compound, Epsom salts, all types of stuff. Moorish antiseptic bath compound, beneficial for dandruff, rheumatism, stiff joints, sore feet. Everybody got sore feet out there? How come these Moors are hiding Noble Drew Ali stuff from you? Have you thinking that the Moors weren't industrious? The Moors are just in the temple and that's it. No. No. Looking like Moors, aren't they? If you got any questions, you can throw those in the chat. Then there's also the letters from, because remember, because of the infiltration of the temple, everybody trying to take a superior position and try to get Supreme Grand Sheikh Mili El out the way so they could control the movement. So they even have letters from him to all these Moors who you see that they're parading around today like they're the authority of the Moorish whatever, when there's letters with them getting called out. Right? Now some of you who are with him as against the prophet, and I say against the prophet because when you fail to recognize the man the prophet appointed and give him your cooperation and support, you have virtually turned down the prophet for someone else. And those I know of, according to their works and actions and works, ways and actions and works, TWOZ Milwaukee, Brother Nelson Bay, Detroit, Charles Bay, Cleveland, Cliff Bay, Indianapolis, Dove L, Chicago, these don't write me when I write them because I won't accept Kirkman Bay as in the place of Drew Ali, and I never do. Well, the time is proving all true according to divine plans. He said, children, there won't be but a few saved because you are not going to do what I tell you. You want your way, and your way you are going to have. But your way leads downward, children, so you better do like I tell you. If you do like I tell you, there is a chance for you. If not, there is nothing for you but death. For all those people who don't want to honor the prophet and all that stuff. We don't have to listen to him because he's not my prophet and I'm not part of Moorish Science Temple. If you do like I tell you, there's a chance for you. If not, there is nothing for you but death. What's going on with all these people who denied the prophet today? What are they complaining about? Oh, people murdering them, right? All right. They govern their actions by majority, which is all right if the majority is right. On the other hand, if only one is right, that one is the majority. That's Islam. But they want to run the Moorish Science Temple of America according to the principles of Christianity or politics. And that is, you may be ever so wrong, but if the majority is with you, you are right anyway. But so in Islam, nothing but right will do. Well, that is why they fight me, simply because I won't accept Kirkman Bay as head of the organization. If I would do that, I would be all right with them. But Drew Ali said to me on his sick bed before he passed, you do what I tell you. Never mind what they say. I have given you law, Quran, Constitution, and I expect you to enforce my law and do what I say. Never mind what they say or do. They can do nothing but die. You think Noble Drew Ali wasn't going at dirty Moors? So you have the law as laid down by him, Drew Ali, and you will be required to answer for yourself in the day and to choose now who you will follow, whether it be Kirkman Bay or Noble Drew Ali, the divine prophet of our God Allah. And I am going to expect you at the next convention that you may forego things amiss because to follow anyone now except Juali, you have no part with him. I hope I have made myself and the cause clear to you, and if not, write for further information. So he didn't even close the door on the dirty Moors. He still gave him an opportunity to say something.
Give them an opportunity to take a bath.
Yep. All right, you could also look up Chicago Defender newspaper, and you'll see all the different articles in there about the Moors. 3 Moors convicted of riot. State will ask death penalty for Moorish Americans. Second police dead as a cult battle. Disband Moors. How are they gonna do that? Well, you could do that if it's a club. Oh look, lodge. When before they investigated, when they thought the Moor Science Temple was a lodge, a black lodge, and then when you read the FBI papers, they had their agent come in and let them know, no, it's not a lodge, it's a temple, and here's the rules and the regulations, and there's holy book and all this. And they thought we were a tribe, stamp out the tribe of the Moors. Everything to have us think that we're not a nation.
This is crazy. Why don't I have this book?
Yeah, just remember next time you get up.
Yeah.
Whenever that's allowed again.
For real.
You can hunt these Moors down. Richard R. Edwards Hill. Hunt him down, and there you go.
All right.
You got any questions in the chat? You could throw those out. Got any questions for Brother Sheldon? Because I know there's some Moors near UK on here too that you might need some clarity with regard to our Moorish connection in Europe.
You see the question by Warrior Goddess there?
Yeah. How will we join forces if religion is always separating us? Why can't Moors join forces without being religious? But when you say join forces, what do you mean? With like Moors, different temples joining forces, you mean? If you're looking at it from the perspective of different temples coming together, yeah, that's the reason. Because they created it into religion. They made it into, you got to be part of our club. You got to be part of our thing. If you're not part of our thing, then we can't, whatever. Not basing it on nationhood. The fact that he got a fez, I got a fez, she got a turban, we all got a nationality card, we all fly the Moroccan flag, so there should be unity. There's nothing to not be united about. The only reason we can't is because individuals were sent into this to create these divisions. They were sent in to create the divisions. Some people do a naturalization, some people saying ink, some people saying they don't recognize whoever was the successor, they want to recognize their guy. Some people saying this is church, singing hymns to Noble Juali. Like, all those things were divisions created so that we can't get our stuff together. And they knew what they were doing by doing that. Because they can't do that with anybody else. because everybody else is dealing with national principles. So nothing's going to come and compromise that. It's only when you don't have national principles that you could be compromised, which is why all these people are compromised, which is why all these people calling themselves Moorish science, whatever, need to be looked at funny if they're not living according to, like what you're saying, what was laid down. We're supposed to be unified. They're supposed to be, the idea of a temple in every state, it shouldn't matter who the whatever is. The fact that temple's there and there's Moors there with turbans and fezzes, that's it. Right? Right. And again, the concept of the Moorish, anything Moorish being tied to a cult is because of propaganda. That's purpose. That's not something that people just think like that because they feel like thinking like that. No, they've been conditioned to think.
But it's interesting because when I went to London, I don't know if that person who just commented on the UK, if he's talking about London or whatever, but I bumped into Rashid Nix on the street, and he spotted me out because I always have my fez on, and he spotted me out and he's like, yo brother, are you a Moor? Cool dude, man, really cool dude. This was in Brixton, and literally everywhere that I went, I got mad respect. I went into the Hindustani section because I visited my brethren and his girlfriend out there, and we were going to, I think we were going to a temple. There's a Hindustan temple I think we were going to, and then we were going to get something to eat. And we're walking down the street towards the temple, and all these Hindustanis were coming up to me. Assalamu alaikum, assalamu alaikum. They're all greeting me, and I'm walking right next to my brethren and his girl, and they weren't greeting her. They weren't greeting them. So I remember going to this. There was a section that we went to get some food. Another section, another part of town, where they had a bunch of restaurants and a bunch of stores and stuff like that. And I remember walking past. There was it kind of looked like a butcher shop, but it wasn't it was a place where they're cutting clean meat, but then they were cooking it, and there was a bunch of quote unquote Arabs there. And when I walked by, they were all staring at me and they gave me the nod, just giving me respect for having my fez on. So I don't know what part of the UK you were saying that it seems like a cult. But I know in London, when I was on the double-decker bus, I was sitting on top, and the dude gets on, walks by, backs back up, and he looks at me. He's like, he gave me the wink, and he shook his head, yeah. And then he kept walking again. Got off the bus, got off the double-decker bus. Somebody getting on, stops, says, "Hey, nice hat," and then he gets on. It was just everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what part of the UK it's looked at as a cult.
And then that's part of the issue as well, is that Moors want to be recognized as Moors without being in their national headdress. And it's not gonna go like that.
Oh, you're in Birmingham, okay.
You know what I mean?
Sap said he's in Birmingham. Actually, the same brethren that I was just speaking about, he moved to Birmingham. I haven't visited him yet. Him and his woman and his 2 children. I haven't visited them yet because the travel ban, whatever, the travel thing. But yeah, he's so maybe in Birmingham it's different, but in London it wasn't like that at all. Matter of fact, a guy from Uganda. I think I told you this story. Guy from Uganda was walking in this area. He stopped, came back, we started talking, and he was asking me about it. And he said in Uganda, the fez is really, really expensive and they're hard to get. And he said when he saw me, he said it jokingly, obviously. He said when he saw me with it on, he felt like running past me and just grabbing it off my head and keep running because it's so expensive. He said it jokingly, obviously, you know, but yeah, we talked for a little bit. So,
yeah. Right. Again, going back to the thing with the uniting, they should be able to get past that. The people who aren't about the unity, because the plan, like for example, we always tell people all the time, as far as with Canaanland Moors, the fact that Brother Sheldon's near Germany and we're near Canada and we could build, that's unity. So nobody can tell me that there's no Moorish unity. The fact all these Moors are on this chat and they're in all different places and we're not in here arguing about religion and which Moorish temple is right and all that type of stuff, because there's unity. So the idea of unity is hinged in nationality. You can't have unity without nationality. So as soon as you have a bunch of nationals talking about, well, the national, those Moors over there, well, we can't do with them because of whatever reason, that's not qualified, then that's why it appears like that. But there is Moorish unity, because we know Moors all over the world. Now, we don't only know Moors in North America only. We know Moors all over the world. And we know Moors that know Moors all over the world. Right? People who are already over religions via past experience will hesitate to join. So the idea of people don't want to join because they like for example, somebody's gonna say, well, I went on the Canaanland Moors IG page, and well, because of what I saw there, I don't want to be a Moor. We don't need them, because their concept is all messed up anyways, if that's how they're thinking about this. If they're not thinking about this from the perspective of, oh, I just saw something, well, let me go over here and go study and see what this is about before I make my decision. If their decision is being made because, well, I don't like, you know, smoking, and I saw a Moor smoking, I don't want to be a Moor. You're tripping. We probably can't use you anyways. So don't worry, nothing personal. We're not taking it personal, so don't take it personal when we say, all right, no worries if you don't want to be around Moors because you think this is some joining up thing. This is not a joining up thing. This is not a becoming a Moor. We're Moors. Like, we are Moors. We've been denationalized. That's why we don't know that we're Moors. But those denationalized people calling themselves black, Negro, colored, and they're marching up and down the place right now, all those people are Moors. They just haven't been put on game that they're Moors. And if they are put on game about it, they're, like you said, they think it's a cult, they think it's religion, they think we're Muslims, they think, oh my gosh, these guys are Shriners, they're Masons, which has nothing to do with anything. That's all part of the confusion.
Yeah.
It's all part of the confusion. You have anything to add more?
No, I was actually thinking about the build that you had a couple of days ago with what was his name, Mo Techno.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty dope, man. That was really dope. I was actually thinking you were gonna ask him about the whole Morocco thing.
Oh, with the over here.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna ask him about that.
Yeah. I thought about it, but then when I saw the gravitating to the Islam, I was like, okay, let me go with the Sufi thing instead, and go on that angle to eliminate the the debating about is it that or is it not that or whatever. Let's get something we could agree on. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. Mm.
But yeah, and I thought I actually thought about it while we were talking. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, no, because like I have a guy that I know. He's in Egypt right now. He's in Cairo,
Mm.
and he's playing soccer out there, football out there, and we built a lot on the history and stuff like that as well. And I was telling him because I would have loved to have gotten Mo Techno's perspective on the Moorish history, the Moorish Empire in Europe, the three series, the 3-volume series, right, that you
Yeah.
started reading. Did you get to the part where it says the original Quran wasn't that big? It was really, really small. Did you get to that part?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Because I remember reading that. I think I remember telling you about that, where it said the original Quran, and in this, just as a perspective, I think he's on here too. Now, I don't know if this is true. I'm just saying what I read, right? Now, just to give you a perspective on this 3-volume series, if you look at the bibliography that was S.P. Scott took to write that 3-volume,
yeah,
it's literally 20, 30 pages.
Yeah,
just half the book of bibliography, also in different languages. He has sources in Arabic, Hebrew, French, German. The amount of, I don't know, man. That thing must have been years and years, obviously years and years of getting that information. And so it says that the original Quran wasn't as thick as it is today. And I'm paraphrasing here. It says that it was meant for the reader to read it and get their own meaning from it and not have to go to an imam to figure out what it means. So meaning you're supposed to read it, you're supposed to have your own relationship with and interpret it the way, and then that way is supposed to be, and that way you get the purest meaning out of it, because if somebody else reads it for you and tells you what it is, that's not the essence of what you're supposed to get from it.
Right.
And I remember reading that part. Yeah, I remember reading that part, and when I read that, it got me thinking about like what you were talking about with the Sufism and your individual relationship with the Creator. No one can tell you what that relationship is supposed to be. The same way how the Creator can bless you with the sight of your third eye's open, let's just say, and you see spirits and you see all of that. Is the same way the Creator can bless you with the ability to sense energy. So you don't see stuff, you sense energy. So that message that you're getting is different than the person that can see. So how can somebody tell you this is the way it's supposed to be when your communication with the Creator is different? Everybody has a different communication with the Creator. So when I read that, that to me spoke a lot of sense. That made a lot of sense. And that to me is more of the Sufi angle. And so it would have been dope to talk to this brother just to see what he has to say about that perspective, you know? And the dude that I build with in Cairo, when I told him that, he started researching other stuff and reading other things, because the main thing that he was always doing was just strictly reading the Quran, right? And then so I said, like, yeah, there's other stuff that can add to it and stuff. And he started reading other stuff. Yeah. And he started finding other stuff out. And he said, like, wow, this is what I've been taught is not all the way factual. You know what I'm saying? Quran, and it gave him right. And he told me it gave him a much more fuller comprehension of the Quran than just reading the Quran. So it would have been interesting. Yeah, it would have been interesting to hear this brother's perspective on that part. Yeah.
Yep. History of the Moorish Empire.
Yes, yeah, it's thick. It's not. It's all kind of 7, 8, 900 pages. It's
It's
not
not a
no
joke.
small. The 3 volumes ain't small.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
it's not a joke.
it even talks about the description of, you know, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. It talks about the description and what he looked like, and how he had locks, and his locks were reddish, and so on. He's saying that that's why a lot of his followers back in the day used to dye their beards red.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and stuff like that. So, but I didn't even finish it because I haven't finished. I got to get back to it actually.
Yeah, that's an extensive video. Like,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
very, very, very extensive, detailed, like, and like you're saying too, that was one of the things too when I went to the to the index or whatever. I'm looking for stuff in the index that and I bump into the bibliography. I'm like, what is this, yo? That was like Abdullah's bibliography. Yo, books for days. Yo, books for
Days, man,
days.
days,
Just books for
days.
days. Like books upon books upon books upon books. Like, hold on a second. So if he's gonna be able to put out this 3-volume, 700-page per volume book or whatever, and then he's giving you a bibliography of 20 pages or something like that. Obviously, people know who the Moors are.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
People
I'm just looking
have to know
for.
who the Moors are.
I have the book here. Let me just see if this
Yeah.
is volume 3, volume 2. Let me see if I get. This is part 1. I think is it in here, man? Let me see if it's in here. Let me see if it's in here.
Somebody had put in,
Yeah.
I know the Prophet Muhammad had long curly hair, but never heard of locks on an Arab.
Well, see, this is the thing that. Oh my gosh. This is the thing that.
His hair, because his hair is displayed in the museum in Emirates or in Saudi.
Okay. This is the thing that. Let me put my phone in the charger because it's it's running up quick. This is the
you're there.
Stop this craziness about Arab. And first of all, Arab just means Arabic. Somebody who speaks Arabic. That's all it means. Prior to like, huh?
You mean it's not a people?
The people, from what I know, from what I've studied, is Bedouin. They're Bedouins, or Bedouins. An Arab just means an Arabic speaker. If you're talking about somebody from Arabia, they're Arabian. That's it. And so, here's a prime example. Because I've been to Israel. I've crossed the border into Egypt proper and been in the Sinai Desert, and I've seen Bedouins there. They're dark. They're dark. They're super dark. They're darker than me. Right? And so,
No, I mean, you're practically a European. So what do you mean?
Yeah. So the thing is, when you talk about Northern Africa and stuff like that, and Arab this and so on and so forth, the reason why they got so light is their constant interaction with Europe, and sultans having 25,000 European women and having children with them, and they just bleach themselves out. Yeah. And as a prime example, here's a prime example of that. My friend out here, my friend out here who would be classified as, if you want to say, an amalgamated Moor or mixed. He's mixed between Moor and European. He's been to Morocco and they all think he's Arab. I just met his friend, another friend who's also mixed between Asiatic and European, and you look at him and you think he's Arab. I have pictures on my Sakinamour Instagram page of one of the models that I've done, and if he doesn't have his locks, if you cover his locks, you would probably think he's Arab, and he's half Asiatic and half European. So this whole thing about Arabs, is just like, it's just ridiculous, man. Y'all need to stop that stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, with regards to the book, the Moorish Empire in Europe. Now, I don't know if I could flip around my camera or whatever it is, but I have it here, and the bibliography is called Authorities Consulted. All right. Now, let me count the pages, number one, and then I'm going to tell you the languages. Let's see here. It's hard to do this with one hand. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 pages. Now, each page has approximately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28. So what did I say? 26? I think it's 26 pages.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think I said 26 pages. So multiply. I don't have my. Matter of fact, 26 by 28. I'm just gonna do quick math here.
The bibliography.
Yeah, because it's accredited. Yeah, so it's accredited thing, right? So I think I said 20. If I'm not mistaken, I think I said 26 pages.
Yeah, this study is no joke if you got it like that.
26 times 28. That's 728 sources that he's checked. All right. Now let's go through the languages. Like I said, hard doing this with one hand. 1 second. All right. Mm-hmm. English. So English, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh shit. 1 second. Let me do this again. Slipped out of my hand. 1 second. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then there's Spanish. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then there's Portuguese. Then there's Italian. Then there's German. German, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there's Dutch. Then there's Danish. Then there's Swedish. Then there's, what the hell? Long Doc and Long Doyle. I don't know what that is, but that's some other language thing. I don't know what that is.
Playing with your stream right now. Oh, there you go. Oh,
Second. So then it says limousine and cat. So then it says limousine and Catalan. So Catalan is the official language in Barcelona. So that's different than Spanish, right? Barcelona's in Spain. So Catalan is different than Spanish. That's the official language in Barcelona, right? Then he's got Latin. He's got Greek, he's got Hebrew, he's got Arabic. And there's also French. So those are all the sources. Those are all the sources that Mr. S.P. Scott checked for the references in this book. Like it's
yeah, insane.
It's crazy. It's insane. So in my opinion, if there's any book that you're gonna believe about the history, it's this one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna say I'm gonna take one book, you know what I'm saying? It would probably be that one.
Good one. That would be a good one to use.
That would be a good one. Yeah,
sure.
that would be a good one to use.
Yep. For sure.
Yeah, I've never seen like 728 sources. Like I've never seen that before, ever.
Somebody took studying serious.
Yeah, for real.
Somebody took studying serious. Anybody else out there got any questions? Don't forget, you got Brother Sheldon right now. Don't lose out on your opportunity, because because this is a busy Moor right here. Lucky you got a little something. Got any questions, especially you Moors near UK and whatever else, anywhere else? Get it in. And if you haven't, T Futuristic 23, just go on YouTube, look up 5 Deadly Venoms Futuristic by The Snake. Listen to that song. See if that song's futuristic enough for you right there. Everybody got their jewels. Yeah, it looks like everybody got their jewels. They're happy.
Yeah, so the women are the deity of the planet. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Yep. Yep. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Matriarch rules.
Yep.
Should there be a way to make yourself more accessible to the general public? Shouldn't there be a way to make yourself more accessible to the general public? Well, for speaking for ourselves, we got YouTube page, we got email address, we have a temple building where I'm at right now. Like we're at the temple, doors right over there. It's open. People could come here anytime. So we're more than accessible to the people. Oh yeah, and don't forget there's a phone here too. So you could even call. So we're more than accessible to the people. The question is, do the people want what it is they have access to? And from what we've seen, it doesn't really look like they really want it like that. So, doors open, they can walk in anytime. Those who really want it, they're rushing in, they're getting their stuff, they're doing what they got to do. They're studying, they're researching, they're doing whatever they have to do to find out about this information. And then everybody else is waiting to see the, Moorish meteor come from Mars or something like that before they say, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to be down with the Moors or whatever. Oh no, we've been in the streets. We've been in the streets because we have a newspaper at our temple. So we've been in the streets giving away the newspaper that we should be selling to bring in finance for the temple, but nah, we already know how people are, so we give away the stuff and people be giving the stuff back. So what were you in the streets for? To do what? Right? Like what are we in the streets for? Because when we were in the streets, people didn't want this. When we were in the streets. Right? When we were taking our own finance to make newspapers, make flyers or whatever, and then we present that to our people, they don't want it. But oh, let me go to a European and give them the stuff. Oh, they're taking it. Right? They're taking it. Yeah, the sorcerers did a good job. We're gonna hit you up just about final arrangements for when we pass away. More should have those things. Oh yeah, all that stuff's in the Quran. All that stuff's in the Quran. Transition time, you read Ministry of Death, it shouldn't be no long thing. You know what I mean? The stuff's in either you're gonna put them into the furnace, get your urn or whatever like that. You're gonna do whether they do the viewing, whatever, that's up to, you know what I mean? But whoever the head is, go up there, read Ministry of Death chapter in the Quran, funeral's over. The stuff that these people are doing with their 5 hours and stuff like that, parading down the street and all that stuff, the only prominent people get that. Muhammad Ali, you know, El Hajj, Noble Drew Ali or whatever. Regular guy, stop this. You don't need no stuff like that. Read the Ministry of Death. What's Ministry of Death going to do? That's going to get people to realize that, oh, death is no enemy of man and all that stuff. Stop sobbing and all that stuff like that because they went to a better place. They served their purpose on the earth plane. Let's honor them and let's go to the reception right now and party on their behalf. Let's go have some fun instead of this mourning and all this madness, right? And then the same thing with if you're gonna get married, so you take that Holy Quran chapter for the man to know what he's supposed to do, chapter for him to know how to respect mother, Holy Covenant, wedding's over. There ain't no long drawn out stuff like these people are trying to play. Like they got to do all that. It's not that serious. Drew Ali brought everything it takes to save a nation, take it, save ourselves, and then get out the way. No. Establishing an international temple where all Sheikh Kudro, Jamal, Asir, etc. teachings can reach. So that's as, especially with this age that we're going in right now, that's as easy as you get a building, whether it's a library or somebody's basement or whatever. Everybody got flat screen. Everybody can hook up the stuff to the flat screen, and then every 2 hours you have somebody talk to the Moors, whoever the Moors are. 1 to 3, Asir. 3 to 5, Jamal. 5 to 7, Raz Mariah. 7 to whatever, whoever other Moor. You know, Alim, whoever, you know, the Moors who are out there, because guarantee there's some Moors near the UK who they're studying themselves, and I'm pretty sure they got knowledge of self that they could put you onto some game. It ain't like you need the heavy hitter, whatever, you know. Matter of fact, you yourself studying could do that same thing. And again, it's not, you know, people get caught up in the whole thing with the temple thing, but really it's about Drew Ali up front. So once you acknowledge Drew Ali up front, then you can say Prophet Noble Drew Ali Learning Institution, Prophet Noble Drew Ali School, Prophet Noble Drew Ali whatever. And then what you're going to be doing there is putting out the information relative to the people being free. Like we use the example with Jamal's all the time. When Jamal's first reached out to us and we connected with him and we built or whatever, it was just him and his empress in a library room. That was it, 2 people. Now look at them now. They got military classes going on, going in the bushes to go train and all that type of stuff. You look at the pictures of their thing, they got 50 Moors there. You got to start somewhere. And that's really what is gonna do it, starting somewhere. You don't need to start with the home run on the first swing. Just get the first base. Don't worry, there's other batters coming up. You don't need to home run first swing. Just get to first base. And then get ready, because you might have to steal a base or something like that. So be on your P's and Q's, but don't, get out. You get to second base. It could be done, but it doesn't have to be some international temple type of idea like everywhere has this thing called Moorish Science Temple. That was supposed to happen. People already sold that out. So it's next level now. Next level is put Drew Ali up front and call it something. Call it something Moorish. And then start inviting whoever to come learn and whatever else. All right. Yeah, and really it's that's the simplest way. When you start talking about have a temple somewhere and all that stuff, then you're getting into, you need a charter, and then we already showed you Mukarribian files with temples taking Moors to court. It's not like they won't take your ass to court talking about you're using their copyrighted stuff and all that. You know what I mean? Moorish Science temples have played copyright games with Handshake, copyright games with Crescent and Star. How are you copywriting the Crescent and Star? How you copywriting that? That something belongs to Moorish Science temple. No, it doesn't. That belongs to universe. That belongs to universe. Exactly. Be the leader that you're looking for. Be the change that you want to see. Right. So we tell them, stop trying to convince people about being Moors and you got to be a Moor and you're going to your family and you and your family are in big argument. You know what I mean? Throwing plates and stuff over some Moors or whatever. No, it's not that serious. You tell them, hey, you're not Negro black color with Moors. If they don't say, huh, Moors? What do you mean by that? Then don't even waste your time trying to convince them of anything. You go about your business. You just be. You just be. All right? Be who your ancient foremothers and forefathers were without doubt or contradiction.
Yep.
Once you be them without doubt or contradiction, then other stuff is gonna manifest. You know what I'm saying? Like we're saying, like, yeah, it might have been a finance thing and whatever, working with Adidas and whatever, but trust me, having his own line is way better than anything these people could have gave him as far as a job or whatever. From the you get out what you put in perspective. From
not only that, but just to add, not only that, but it's so many ideas that I would have that you have to pass on to somebody who's above you to get it through, right? And if they don't see the vision, because we're always designing 1.5 to 2 years in advance. So what we design today comes out in 2 years, right? If you're trying to convince somebody who doesn't have that vision, it doesn't go through. And so then what would happen is I would have these ideas, wouldn't go through, and then 2 years later, Nike or something comes out with the same idea, or Reebok or something comes out with the same idea, and it blows up for them, right? And so that's the thing that was always happening. Also with when I designed for Liebeskind, women would know this brand, I guess, if they're really into bags and stuff, right? It's a bag company in Berlin, and they had footwear and stuff like that as well. So I designed a range for them that had specific details, and I remember the owners, they were kind of, you know, they liked it. They weren't 100% sure about it. But then what happened is the company got bought over by S. Oliver, which is another company. And S. Oliver pretty much canceled all the designs that I had. And then a year and a half later, I saw the same concept on Louis Vuitton shoes. And I'm like, another missed opportunity. That happened to me twice. There's twice with yeah, it was twice with Louis Vuitton. So it was once with Libeskind when I did that shoe, and then there was another time when I was at Adidas and I had this concept and I drew it out, and it never got passed. And I remember I was at the train station in Milan, Italy. I went there for like a shoe fair, and then I was coming back, and I'm sitting in the train station, and there's this huge billboard of a Louis Vuitton shoe, and it was the exact same concept, midfoot strap, everything, woven leather, everything, exactly the same thing that I did. And this was I think it was 2.5 or 3 years later, because I had already quit Adidas by then. And the reason why, and I also remember that day too, is because when I was sitting in the train station, an African dude came up to me and we started talking, and he was Jehovah's Witness. This is interesting. He was Jehovah's Witness, but he was by himself. And I'm like, we're talking. I'm like, but how come you're by yourself? You normally come in twos. And he said, oh, my other dudes, he went to the bathroom. I'm like, all right. You know, and then he came and we just had actually a pretty good conversation, because I was telling, you know, I was telling him stuff about, he's telling me about the Christ and stuff and the book, the Bible, and Christ was, you know, Hebrew and all that, and he spoke Hebrew, and I was like, he spoke Aramaic. Yes, he was quote unquote Jewish, but he spoke Aramaic. Yeah, that was the language that he spoke. So the fact that you're handing me a Bible that's first in Hebrew and then translated into English, you missed the translation from Aramaic to Hebrew. Yeah. And that was the kind of the conversation. But he was really, really cool. He was really, really cool, I must say. He was really, really cool. But yeah, so that same day is when I saw that saw that poster. So, and then there was a shoe that I did as a concept for Adidas, and it was a year and a half later, the LeBron 4s were designed after it. So, and that's another story. That's another story where, you know, now I'm not gonna put it on Nike. I'm gonna put it on the designer, because they had my portfolio for a while when I was trying to get a job there. So I don't blame Nike. I blame the designer. Yeah. Yeah. But all of that to say, like, I'm tired of having ideas that I want to see out that I don't see. Yeah. Because I take the mentality of, I remember Miles Davis in an interview. I remember reading this somewhere. The interviewer asked him, "How come you're such a visionary as to the way you construct your songs and stuff, like you know, the way you play jazz is just haven't heard it before." And he commented saying that he plays what he doesn't hear. Right? And I took that as, I don't know what he meant, but I took that as he just thinks of what hasn't been played before and he figures out to create that. And so that's how I look at design. I design what I don't see. So when I go out and I look at stuff to know what not to do, not as inspiration. You know what I mean? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what's up.
Islam to all the Moors. We're getting our countdown right now. Give thanks, Brother Sheldon, for the build.
Give thanks, Sheik.
Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Don't forget, Sakinamour.com. You might not be you to support, but pass that on to somebody else. You know what I mean? Maybe they'll be able to add some support. We got 6 seconds. Peace and love to all the Moors.
Peace and love, Moors.